Hey, Jefi, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Ed.
Well, glad to hear it. Well, kind of a big day news-wise. Today's the day where the Fed just increased the federal funds rate by
Yep,
0.75% or 75 basis points.
that's correct.
So that's a lot of like econ speak, but basically raising rates to cool inflation. That's the way you want to interpret that.
That's right.
Um,
We heard a
so
lot about that in this in our teams building things or meeting with Brian Buffini and their group of people. They were talking about a bear market.
Yeah. So kind of big takeaway here. No secret to anybody at this point, but we're in a corrective period. Transactions. So total number of homes sold nationwide is down about 20% from the previous year. That's not prices going down 20%, but that's the
No,
number of homes sold down
right,
20%. And the reason that's an issue is that's 20% less commission checks being cut for a lot of realtors.
right.
So you got people that have folks that want to buy homes, but sales are down.
That's right.
So
Still lack of inventory here in San Diego. We're still only at a month and a half supply. What about you
yeah,
in Chapel Hill?
in Chapel Hill ran that number this week. We're at about 1.2 months. So
Okay.
and again, for everybody, equilibrium is 6 months. So we're still a seller's market, but we're seeing days on market creep up. We're
Hmm.
seeing price reductions. Actually heard of somebody getting a contingent offer accepted.
Yep.
So, those type of things are coming back. We're seeing repair requests, all the kind of traditional things in the business, which kind of leads us to an amazing point that came up again at Brian Buffini's team conference. 75% of agents, NAR agents, National Association of Realtor agents, have never been in a normal market.
Okay.
75%.
That number blows my mind because if you think about 25% of agents, that's 25% of agents have been through a down market. So when you're when you're out there and you're hustling and you don't know what you're hustling about because you haven't been through something like this, that kind of puts you on the back foot.
It
So
puts you on that's a great way to put it. It's like, and I'm sure you're seeing this. We're seeing it show up in deal flow where
yeah,
like I was talking to one agent, they're like, the agent on the other side did not understand what a repair request was
oh, okay, yeah, this
because they'd never seen one before. If you've
right.
been in this business for 2 years or less, you've never seen one.
No.
And, if you're 4 years or less, like they were getting a little rarer, but they were there.
Hmm.
Um, hey, how about doing a price reduction? Having that discussion,
Yeah,
you're like, whoa, what do I do? It didn't sell, right? So
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff going on. I was amazed at that number too, but I thought about membership's grown so much, and then people have retired out because we tend to be a little older demographic, right, in real
Hmm.
estate.
You're
So
older.
watch it.
Don't
That's
lump
right.
me in there.
I said generally, we have some 25-year-olds. So, so yes, I don't mean
Hey,
years in the business.
do you remember the stat that was given for the amount of agents that actually will leave the business in the next 12 to 24 months?
Yeah, 20% of
Okay.
agents, which is like
Yeah.
200,000 agents
That's a
are go-
lot.
it's a lot. And I've shared that number with fellow agents, and the initial reaction, if you're a seasoned agent, is like, well, about time, or that's good. But
Mm-hmm.
the sad thing is those are like broken dreams, right? And a lot of
Right.
pain for people who got into this business, maybe didn't have the right training, maybe were in it for the wrong reasons, and they're
Hmm.
going to exit.
Right.
And it's becoming a professionals market. So we're going to talk
Hmm.
about some of the implications of that. So that's where the market is. We're in a bear market in terms of volume. Pricing, I mean, what we're seeing just kind of level.
Yeah, ours
Um,
is too.
Yeah.
Ours is pretty dang close.
Yeah, we're seeing, if it's a hot property and it's been prepped and priced right, we're seeing things go over ask. But if you don't
Mhm.
have those things, it can sit on the vine, and
Right.
then people are going to beat you up for it. So you got to
Sure.
really make sure you're pricing correctly.
Hey, I want to chime in here really quick, just talking about agents who are in that 70% group that haven't gone through this before. There's nothing that Ed and I want more than to share what we've learned as agents that have been in the business 20 plus years. And this podcast is all about learning. So we want to see people succeed. There's some incredible agents out there that have only had their license for 2 years. But what we're trying to say is, if you only had your license for 2 years, you better frickin' put your boots on and get the education rolling and make sure you understand what's happening. You don't just get to float through things in this type of market. So get serious. And we're going to talk about the fundamentals, right?
Yeah, we're going to dig into that, like the action steps. And that goes for experienced agents too. I know I'm doing it, you're doing it.
Yeah.
Is you're looking at your activities and what needs to be done. And that was definitely a theme at the conference. But I'll also share for those newer agents. I was told this a long time ago. It's like you really make your money on the second cycle. It's where you got to weather that storm. And then when that sales volume picks back up, you've been close to your people and other folks have gotten out of the business and it just starts flowing. Right. So you really want to pay attention to the fundamentals. So do you want to dive into that a little bit, Jefi? I'll let you lead that discussion and we'll chime in.
Sure. So a lot of times, I'm going to start out with my most favorite part of this. And that is that a lot of times in a down market, and I'm sure that anybody listening to this probably gets at least 2 phone calls a day, maybe 10 phone calls a day with somebody trying to sell you something, right?
Yes,
you can buy these leads. You only pay 20%. Come join this fancy, shiny club over here. Put your name on a shopping cart. I mean, insert there anything you could possibly imagine to spend your money on.
Right.
My opinion, and I believe your opinion too, is that if you're going to spend money on anything in the next 24 months, it should be coaching. And of course, you and I are Buffini coaching, so we will sing the praises of Buffini coaching because we've lived it, eaten it, breathed it. And some people call it a cult. Go ahead, call it a cult. But it is amazing, amazing. So you're going to spend money on coaching. Full stop.
I 100% agree with that. If you're going to spend any money in your to help get through this, spend it on coaching. You should be spending it anyway in all markets. But I think one of the big takeaways there is that it's really easy to drift, especially in a challenging market, volume-wise. Yes. Again, we're not talking prices. We're talking volume.
Right.
It's really easy to drift, and to have a coach there by your side, making sure you're doing the right things, holding you accountable, is really, really powerful.
Right.
And it'll pay dividends. So get in coaching. Right.
So that's so important. And if you're getting in coaching, check your ego at the door. You don't know more than your coach. Sorry, Jefi. I'm always like, wait, what? Why do I want to do that? And my coach will say, I'm so sorry. Then we're just going to lower your goal or we're going to do whatever. So just check the ego at the door, take the coaching, get through these next, 12 to 24 months. And I'm saying 12 to 24 months. Who knows how long it's going to be? We don't know, but just be prepared for this market to just be shifting and doing what it needs to do to get us into an equilibrium. The next thing in fundamentals, I would say, is equally as important as coaching, and that's clients, client care, client love, and what you need to do to show your clients that you're here, that you understand what's happening, and be that calm voice for them when they're listening to the media who gets paid to advertise and be sensational. We want our clients to know to call us, to talk to us. And if we don't have the answer, we sure as heck will find it. Right. So you want to dive into a little bit of what it means to you to take care of your clients?
Yeah, it's reaching out to them. I mean, that's my style, but, calling your clients, reaching out, being that calm source, seeing what their needs are. They're being bombarded with messages, relating it to your market, know your statistics,
right?
And let them know, hey, this is where it's really sitting and this is what it means. And traditional real estate marketing is not an auction house. It's been that way for a couple years, but we're getting
Right.
back to the basics and the fundamentals.
Right.
And there's implications with that.
That's true. I think more than ever, and I'm all about free enterprise, and anybody can have a brokerage. Anybody can do anything they want. And I'm going to say, good on you, go for it. But the models of companies out there that believe that you do everything online and there's no personal contact and, the open doors of our industry, I think they're really going to hurt, because people now, after living through the last 5 years of rapid everything's moving. Homes are selling before they hit the market, 25 offers. Everybody was conditioned to run at full sprint. And now I think our clients are going, oh my God, I'm going to have a martini and I'm going to think about this.
Yeah.
They're not jumping in there. So they need the hand holding. They need the love. They need to know what's going on, and they need you to be a trusted advisor.
And to that point, this gets, to the fundamentals. As you know, I've been on a big pop buy kick where I've, been going out and seeing my A pluses and A's, the clients that I try to spend the most time with, and dropping by their homes. And it's really been interesting, A, the number of people I've caught at home, and B, how much they want to chat.
Right.
I mean, I've had 15-minute conversations on a front porch, consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
dogs biting you too.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. So
ankle biters.
Had a herd of ankle biter pups jump me on the front porch. It was quite the sight. But there's value in that, and people they're kind of coming out into a new season. Getting comfortable being around folks, and they want to have those conversations. Mm-hmm. So back to the fundamentals, the basics and client care.
Right.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what you do if there's strategies for a new agent? Want to chat about that?
Sure, absolutely. So at this point in the game, there's going to be the market shifting so rapidly that if you're a non-seasoned agent who really wants to stay in this business, but maybe feeling like you're struggling a little bit, there's so many options to joining a team. And when I say team could be a single agent, it could be a large team, it could even be a brokerage that treats their brokerage as a team. But if you're out there and you're kind of floundering and this truly is what you want to do, lean into people who know more than you do. Lean into people who can teach you how to have the price reduction conversation. Lean into people who can teach you how to properly price a home. Lean into people who understand what it looks like to be relational. Like if you're not relational, team up with somebody who is, because you don't have to be good at everything. You just have to be good at knowing what you're not good at and find somebody to help you do those things.
Yeah, I think there's a real opportunity for agents that are feeling that way to team up with someone that's a right fit for you,
right?
To help you through, and you can learn. I was thinking about this because on one of my most recent transactions, where it was in a condo complex. I've done a lot of deals over the years, and it's older, and I went through. And, first time buyer. And I'm like, well, we know there's going to be aluminum wiring here. So we need to know that going in. We're not going to freak out about that. There's things. And then, I looked at the power panel. I'm like, oh, this one's been replaced. The ones that are typically here have recalls or safety issues. So we're good on that front.
Right.
And I thought, you can't even communicate that kind of knowledge. There's stuff in the background that you know. Right.
That's right.
And if you're a new agent and you don't know what you don't know,
Mhm.
and you'll have a deal blow up because he couldn't get out in front of it.
That's right. Do you
So
remember, in that vein, do you remember the number Brian told us about how many transactions actually fell out of escrow?
it was,
Was it
I
something like
want to say it was,
68,000 or something crazy like
in the
that in the
last
United
month,
States?
it was crazy.
Yeah.
There were like
Yeah.
68,000, could be a rounding error here, but a significant number, tens of
Right.
thousands
Right.
of transactions that fell out of escrow in the last month. And
Right.
usually when that happens, it's the agents that are, they couldn't piece it
Yeah.
together and negotiate through and polish
Right.
it and make it work. You don't hit it with a jackhammer, you have to sometimes have the velvet hammer to get through. And,
Right.
and so it's those skills that you can pick up as well if you're on a team.
So let me ask you this. Would you be willing to take somebody on showings so they could learn by osmosis the things that you've learned? Is that something you would do?
I've done that. Yeah. That's, with
So
agents that I brought on, it's like, they need to kind of learn, how the correct way to show a home, how you set it up, how you build expertise, how you build trust, those
Right.
kind of soft skills. And then it's just as tours are being set up. I mean, I could throw you 4 homes, in certain subdivisions. You're going to know facts about that just from your years of experience, right? So they get the benefit of that.
Right. So much chatting in this in our last conference about emotional intelligence and how anybody can pull numbers. I have numbers sitting here in front of me all the time when I'm, it's factual data, right?
Right.
But the emotional intelligence of getting through a request for repairs or the price reduction or an interest rate hike before you've put your client under contract or just insert here. How would you advise people who are, I know I'm throwing you out here right now,
That's
but
fine.
how would you advise agents who haven't been through this type of a cycle to get that emotional intelligence together besides being on a team?
I would work on my listening skills.
Yep.
Listening, not listing.
Listening.
Listening
with the ears.
skills. With the ears, kind of keep it 2 to 1. Listen twice as much as you talk.
Yeah.
We've talked about it on so many episodes, but I would lean into the never split the difference, Chris Voss negotiation techniques, which is really about tactical empathy.
Yep.
And meeting people where they need to be met.
Yep.
And helping navigate them through. There's definite techniques that work that keep them from killing the hostages, literally, right? That's what that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with them, but if you're tactically empathetic with them, you can get the hostage released.
Right.
And I'm sure for you, Jefi, I'm just going to throw it out. How often do you have a transaction actually blow up?
Rarely. And
Rarely.
Again, I want to be fair here. It's been a while since we've been through a rough market. And my whole thing about any market at any time is I like to be 10 steps ahead of what's going on. So I do pre-listing inspections because I don't want something terrible to blow up and have my client in escrow for 14 days and then find out that, their foundation is crap. I want to know all those things up front. So I front load so much stuff. So that keeps the possibility of things going sideways very low.
Right. And
I'm also, go ahead.
No, keep going. I'm sorry.
I'm also a huge communicator. So it's a trifecta, right? It's me, their agent, them, the buyer, and their lender. If one of the 3 of us isn't doing our job, we're not getting to the finish line. So There's a ton of communication with the lender. Where are we? How's it going? Do you have what you need? Are we missing paperwork? Are we in underwriting? What's happening? Blah, blah. So I'm always kind of at the top of the pile there because I am not going to be forgotten about. You're going to know I'm pushing hard on my side. And then my buyer's expectations. So you have a buyer who's never gone through this before. And I want their expectations to be in a place where they feel comfortable when we hit a hurdle. So the hurdle's not the end all be all. Hey, it's just a hurdle. It's a baby hurdle. Let's jump it. So that's my strategy.
Yeah. And I think to that vein, it's having the agent on the other side know and feel that they're a partner in the process, and that we have a common goal, which is to get through this.
Yeah.
And a seasoned agent told me a long time ago when I was starting out, he said, a successful transaction is paved with mutual concessions. Sometimes you give, sometimes you take, and you kind of remember that as you walk down the road. Yeah. And that's a really important skill to develop.
I love that. That makes me think of something, just a super quick story before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's shifting here, right? So even though we don't have enough homes for the amount of buyers we have, I've noticed buyers agents are getting a little snarky.
Yeah.
I just want to put this out there, snarky biscuits. Careful. It's not about you. It's about your client.
Right.
You might want to be a little smooth with your communication. You don't hold all the cards yet. So let's just make sure you're playing the right poker game.
Right. And even when you think you're holding all the cards, usually there's a whole card out there you don't see, and it comes up at the end. And you have no goodwill left.
Right. So and that goes for everybody. It just be kind. Be kind. All right.
Yeah. We're the facilitators. That's right. Well, I think this has been a great session, Jefi. And again, to repeat it, market shifting, transaction levels are down. Yeah. It's time to get back to the basics. Seasoned agents, get into the fundamentals, and newer agents, seriously think about joining a team if that works for you. And for everybody, lean into coaching.
That's right. And you know what we're going to do is we're going to put a link to Brian Buffini's coaching, so you can call in and ask and get information and, find out if that's a good fit for you.
Perfect. All right, Jeff,
everybody.
We'll see you at the next one. See you, everybody.
All right. Ciao.
Bye-bye.